Water.
Send prayers.
Yeah, so
Send prayers for
okay.
speedy
So a
recovery.
nice little girl he's got. I'm right? It's a girl, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, it's a girl. Okay. All right. Our opening ceremony, then volunteer by
Please rise for the prayer. O God, the Father of us all, we humbly beseech Thee in Thy wisdom and knowledge to guide and direct the deliberations of this council along the path of truth, justice, and righteousness, so that what it decides for the welfare of our citizens may also redound to Thy greater honor and glory. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Presentations. Can you hear me? Okay. All
Yes,
right.
I can hear
You
you.
hear me? Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. We have no presentations for this evening, I believe. All right. All right. 6 p.m. So. All right. So we have the public speakers on legislative items only at this time. Do you have any, Liz?
Yes, sir. So our first speaker I have written here is for Vincent Cawley. Our screen's on. I'm sorry, we're just getting the screens up, but we'll notify you of your time. Our next speaker is Robert Ventry Jr. Yes.
Hello, Robert Ventry of Niagara Falls. I was speaking on agenda item 12. I believe this is a good item, good ordinance, but will it be enforced? There are many on the books now when it comes to keeping our neighborhoods clean, but nothing seems to be done with them. It seems like our neighborhood's been forgotten this year in the 4th district and the 6th district. High grass, bushes all over. Looks pretty bad. And also, with this new ordinance, how's it going to be enforced? Will we have the city employees to be able to enforce it, to go cut the grass after the time limit's up? Because we have 311, we pay $100,000 for that. And I know people who caught 311 in May and nothing was done. No on bushes, high grass. I understand that we pay them to call the city, but if the city don't have the employees, when they give 311, when they get the complaints from 311, why have 311? That $100,000 go for temporary employee raises, and more people will be out there cleaning up the city. So I say good luck with this. I hope it works out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ventry. Our next speaker is Tamika Houston.
I thought I had a little more than 5 minutes, so I'll try to make it quick. So our issue, I'm on 12th Street between the block of Ferry and Niagara Street. Oh, sorry. I'm here about Airbnbs, and they're attempting to put a third one on our street, which is between Niagara Street and Ferry Avenue, and we're having issues with the parking. The tourists are coming there, they're taking the parking space.
Wait, what,
One moment.
yeah, which,
Airbnbs.
It's not a legislative item. You can,
Listen, I signed both lists.
hold on.
this is a,
At this portion in the meeting, we're doing just the legislative items. So I'll call you right back up for the Airbnbs, okay? Okay. Thank you. That is the last speaker for the legislative items.
okay, next,
That's the last one.
That was the last speaker.
next one is,
Yes, we can move forward.
is it-
No more speakers.
so Colley's not here?
No.
yet?
No, sir, it's not here.
Okay. Okay, we have administrative updates and controller report.
There's no administrative update today.
Okay. Okay, community events, anything happening, any announcements we have?
September 21st, 10 to 1 p.m. at the train station, which is at 825 Depot Ave West. Create a Healthier Niagara Falls Collaborative will have its annual Walk the Falls. It is free and open to the public. The route this year will be Whirlpool State Park and Devil's Hole. Please come out, walk, run, bike, enjoy your community, and let's get healthy together.
Anything?
Councilman Archie, that's this Saturday?
September 21st,
September 21st from 10 to 1.
10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you.
September 21st, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Walk the Falls, September 21st, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we will meet at the train station at 825 Depot Ave West. It is free and open to the public. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have anything else? Anything? I saw something about cleanup. City? Okay. All right. That's it? Okay, moving on. Council members, moving on to section 4. We have a proposed agenda. And we've had the supporting agenda a couple times now. The documents, we've all had time to review them. Are there any changes or amendments, or to have a motion to adopt as is?
Excuse me, not quite Jenkins, I can't hear the conversation. Thank you.
Jim, can you just push the mic a little closer to you so the recording can pick you up? Just,
Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda by roll call vote?
I will make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Okay, do I have,
There's a correction item
Oh,
on the script.
okay. I move the council vote to amend council action item number 2, section 7 of the proposed agenda by striking the phrase "Commissioner's recommendation" and replacing it with the mayor's recommendation.
okay, do I have a second? Everyone take a moment to look at that?
I see it, second. For the stop signs.
Right, that's for the stop signs, item number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We have a roll call vote for that?
If there's any questions or opposition.
Yep. Any que- Okay, opposition to that? Okay, so do I have a motion to adopt the amended agenda?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion to adopt the amended agenda item is carried. Now, the vote to adopt the amended agenda.
That's correct.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion is adopted. Okay. Okay, let me just catch up with my notes here for a second. All right. Okay, information from the city clerk's office.
So I had a report of licenses issued and collections made in the clerk's office during the month of July 2024. It's been received and filed. Also received and filed is the report of, from the finance office of the sales tax comparisons from years 2020 through July 2024, received and filed in the clerk's office.
Now, I don't know, this is probably not be expertise on anybody here, but I read in the paper today that we're looking, this is probably,
In here.
Microphone.
I apologize. Should I carry it like this? I probably no one here is an expert in this area, but I read in the paper today, our local gazette, that we're looking at the, some of our statistics as far as the increase in sales tax, the HRU, and the county sales tax is probably flattening out. We could expect to see that in the coming, the near future. Does anybody want to comment on that, or any, I mean,
I think that would be a Maria Brown question.
realistic view?
Yeah, I think she could give us a.
We should probably. Okay. Just wanted you to know I'm reading the newspaper, that's all, I really, okay. Rick,
Well, our reporter is here.
I'm watching you, Rick, just wanted you to know, I'm watching you, okay. Okay. So, all right, agenda, moving on to the agenda items. Item 7, agenda items from the mayor.
Okay, agenda item number 1. I move the council vote to approve the award of a fleet vehicle purchase contract to West Her Automotive for 3 new vehicles, including warranties, and authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with the said vendor as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated August 28, 2024.
And a second?
Second.
Brian seconded. Okay. Any questions?
Yes, are there specific uses? I know that it's supposed to be delivered to DPW. Is there is it for a specific department that we're utilizing the vehicles for, or are we just getting vehicles?
I believe I may have answered that question in an email.
Okay. But I'm asking here, so if you don't mind asking right here. I'm asking on record, if you don't mind. If you can tell us what those vehicles are for?
The police department.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any opposition? Call the roll, Liz.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion is adopted. Legislation item number 2. May I have a motion, please?
Yes. I move the council vote to approve installation of 2 new stop signs at the intersection of 95th Street and Nemo Drive by the Department of Public Works as more fully outlined in the Commission's recommendation memo dated August 28, 2024.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, Dante seconds it. Okay, any questions?
This may or may not pertain, but like, so for traffic signage, obviously is for safety. So is this the same process for, speed bumps? Is there how does this actually occur? Is it letters from those that live directly in the vicinity? And how do we advocate for like speed bumps to be added? Not necessarily for this, but is it the same process?
To my knowledge, there are no speed bumps in the city. I would imagine that you would start with the traffic commission, or request a traffic commission perhaps. But your question poses uncharted territory for us. So, and it's not related to the present motion.
At this moment, I shall make a public complaint upon that noise. I'm leaving.
Thank you, Mrs. Scully. Council Chairperson.
Any other questions? Opposition? Okay. Roll.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's carried. Okay. Action item number 3. May I have a motion, please?
I move the council vote to approve the award of a service agreement to Western New York Radio Services relative to maintaining the police department's public safety radio system for the remainder of the calendar year and authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with said vendor as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated August 28, 2024.
Okay. Is there a second? Please.
Second.
Ryan? Okay, any questions?
Yeah, just to be clear, these are grant funds that's paying for this, right?
What was that, Brian?
Just to be
Yes.
clear, there is no.
Yes, it's a Department of Justice grant.
Any other questions? Any opposition? Okay, Liz, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's adopted. Action item number 4. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to execute a change order in the amount of $32,227.78 for additional excavation work, tree removal, and fill material that was required of LJ Quigliano, Inc., as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated August 28, 2024.
Okay, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, questions? Opposition? Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's adopted. Action item number 5. May I have a Motion, please.
I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to execute a change order in the amount of $5,000 for a state permitted adjustment in asphalt costs incurred by Mark Cerrone, Inc. during its project work at the New Road Corporation Yard as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated August 28th, 2024.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Dante seconded. Any questions?
Tom, do you know how often these change orders come through that allow for the increase in,
Well, from memory, I think we're probably up to number 6 for this year for various contracts that the engineering department administers for all different types of vendors. That's my rough guesstimate is that this is probably around number 6
so it's not
this
often
year.
that they miss?
I mean, some years I'm sure there's heavier volume. I don't think this is a especially unusual year for the city for change orders.
Any other questions? Any opposition? Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion is carried. Action item number 6, may I have a motion, please?
I move the council vote to approve the reorganization of the Department of Human Resources to create the position of Workers' Compensation / Safety Specialist as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated August 28th, 2024.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Any questions? Any opposition? Okay, Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion is carried. Action item number 7. May I have a motion, please?
I move the council vote to approve the reorganization of the Office of the City Controller relative to its financial division as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated August 28th, 2024.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Dante seconded. Any questions?
Can you just explain, so this is just removing people around and increasing salary because of increased duty?
Yeah, there's no moving of people. These are for 2 individuals who are already in controller's office, but because of their increased duties, especially because of the volume of grants that we're bringing into the city, and just management requirements. This was a recommendation that came from the acting controller, Maria Brown, and the mayor supported it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Any opposition? Okay, Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, motion is adopted. Action item number 8 from the Acting Corporate Council. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve the proposed settlement payment of $1.1 million to fully resolve a wrongful death lawsuit pending against the city as more fully outlined in the Acting Corporation Council's recommendation memo dated August 28th, 2024.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any questions? Any opposition? Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, motion's carried. Action item number 9. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move council vote to approve a proposed settlement payment of $2,822.47 to fully resolve a property damage claim against the city as more fully outlined in the Acting Corporation Council's recommendation memo dated August 28, 2024.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any information?
Who's seconding? Thank you.
I thought you were first, weren't you? Are you closest to me? That's what I heard. Okay. Okay, where were we? Okay, information. Any information? Questions? No. Okay, any opposition? No. Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
Okay, resolution number 10, may I have a motion, please?
I move the council vote to approve resolution relative to the council's adoption of the Pro-Housing Communities Pledge.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or information? Any opposition? I think all our names are on it, right?
I don't think it's an opposition, but I definitely want to make sure that we are being, as a city and as a municipality, we have the conversation, and that was a very good conversation. A shining example first as to, is this the right one? I want to make sure. Oh, this is not the one. Oh, okay. I'm looking at I'm cross-eyed, so you guys excuse me tonight. I'll get to the next one. No further. It's one of those nights. It's good.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big agenda, okay. All right, now you got me confused.
It's all right.
Okay, information, okay, opposition, no opposition, okay, roll call, Liz, please.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
Alright, motion's carried. Okay,
Council Chairperson Perry, could we pause for 1 second?
must be that noise in the background there. The flying saucer.
Yeah.
Is it the fan?
Oh, that's what it is. I was wondering.
That's a whole lot better. So now we don't have the fan noise, and if people in the chambers can kind of keep sidebars down
Yeah,
so that we
thank
can
you.
hear in the front, please.
It sounded
Thank you
like it
so
was
much.
coming from over here, the way it was echoing through the
Yeah,
chambers.
so
Okay,
now the mics can pick up everything, so thank you so much. All right.
okay. Looking at resolution number 11, may I have a motion, please?
I move the council vote to approve resolution relative to amending Chapter 378 of Niagara Falls Codified Ordinances concerning the regulation of cannabis businesses.
Okay, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Request for information? Okay, any opposition? Okay, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's carried. Okay, resolution number 12. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve the resolution relative to amending Chapter 738 of Niagara Falls Codified Ordinances concerning clean neighborhoods.
Okay, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, any requests for information? Questions? Any opposition?
Yeah, so,
Oh, go ahead.
and it was just brought up, by Mr. Ventry, just talking about enforcement in general, and I'm just wondering, while I am in favor, absolutely, what does enforcement look like? How will we actually increase that to make sure that because we're not here to make money, but like obviously there are many properties that are delinquent and having these issues. So what will we be doing to enforce?
Well, at the start of the summer, the growing season of grass, et cetera, administratively, there were steps taken to increase patrolling and enforcement in the sense that previously just the clean team was making their rounds around the city and issuing cleanup orders, tickets, leaving tickets at the property. And then there's a number of days or hours that tick by before the clean team can return. And if the property hasn't been cleaned up, the ordinance allows them to call in city forces to take care of whatever it is. If it's junk, if it's a junk car in the front yard, if it's overgrown grass. So DPW, the clean team takes care of that. What changed administratively, which is helping with enforcement, is that our ordinance always permitted our code department to essentially deputize its inspectors to issue the same kind of tickets. So there's approximately double the number of eyes on city properties. And when code enforcement sees similar problems, like a junk car in a front yard or overgrown grass, they can call in the clean team. They can ticket it and start the clock, and that tells the property owner that they have to clean it themselves, and if they don't, the city will clean it and they will be billed. So that's already built in. With this proposed amendment, where in the past there were never any inspection fees, this does impose inspection fees, and that is to further encourage property owners to avoid having the clean team show up to tag your property. So the first inspection is free, but the second, third, and fourth, and fifth inspections, if this is adopted tonight, will have a progression of fines. And it starts at $50 for the second inspection. And if it goes to the fifth inspection, it could go all the way up to $500. So there's a lot of leverage in the fines to avoid those. So we're hopeful that.
And is this for inspections, new inspections moving forward, or what happens to those that are in process where the first inspection's already occurred?
Yeah, if this amendment is approved tonight, it will only work prospectively into the future. It can't be applied to
Retro.
someone who got a tag maybe this morning.
Okay.
So I would think then, I hope that as we do this, that we're able to identify like our own properties that may be near some of these challenge spaces to really help identify what our enforcement of clean neighborhood is, even on ourselves. And I say that just to say that most folks that I know that have been tagged, they immediately will cite a city house or city building and say, hey, they didn't cut that or they didn't do this. So just to make sure that we are cleaning our own backyard as well as we move forward.
Well,
that
might require more workforce during the summer, and that would have to be addressed during budget time.
I agree.
We are trying to sell vacant properties that the city has held for many years, and that program is, as you know, from approving the sales, we had many properties transfer hands, and so that's one way to relieve the burden on our DPW. We're already stretched thin during the summer months, so hopefully with continued shedding of properties that are of no use to us being held in the city's hands for decades after decade, we'll have better success in keeping city properties well managed during the summer.
In the same vein, we are, and I agree totally with this ordinance, you know, you know, we definitely want a clean city. We just gotta make sure that we're practicing as a municipality what we preach. So if we're going to tag it, because at that point, who's going to enforce it on the city for the city properties that's not upkept? You know what I'm saying?
As I said, that would be
No.
a budget matter for you guys to address.
Right.
If you want to increase the staff of DPW, I think that's probably
Actually, I
the
wasn't
solution.
finished though. I'm sorry, I wasn't
Go ahead.
finished. So my thing is that because we definitely want to make sure that we're, for us to ask the community to do something that, you know, we're showing in good faith, and especially when we go, because actually we have our clean team, and maybe our clean team probably should hit some of our buildings first, hit some of our spaces that we own first that are overgrown with grass, because I get those same kind of calls where it's like, okay, but what about this city property that's owned and it's that's owned by the city and it looks horrible, or the grass is 4 or 5 feet tall, or whatnot. And, you know, so again, we begin to look like hypocrites if we expect something from them and don't. So I get what you're saying. We talk about budget and everything like that. I'm just putting that out there on record, that to
Yep.
make sure that we actually practice as a municipality what we preach. But it's not really something that I was going back and forth about.
Well, like everything else with city forces, they have to triage. They have limited resources themselves, and so triaging means going after the most problematic properties. And if the city property is the next on the triage list, then it needs to be addressed.
Any other questions, comments? Okay. Any opposition? Okay.
Councilmember Archie,
Yes.
Councilmember Bax,
Yes.
Councilmember Miles,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry,
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, motion's adopted. Okay, resolution number 13. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve the resolution relative to a proposed zoning ordinance amendment concerning the regulation of student housing following the planning board's adoption of a resolution proposing and recommending amendments thereto for the council's consideration.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, any information requests or comments?
Yeah, question. Do we have any existing memorandums of understanding from maybe like URA, private sector investors in regards to, this whole project? It's just
The what project?
like as far as like how we're moving, and I'm thinking maybe, and I'm probably putting the cart before the horse because I know we're talking about, the movement of NU students from out of one space into
Yeah,
another.
the item this evening is limited. It doesn't address the proposal to exchange perhaps about NU student being housed elsewhere. So tonight's item is solely for a local law that seeks to amend our zoning ordinance following the most recent recommendations of the planning board. And basically, the motion is asking the council to schedule a public hearing, which is proposed for the next, at the start of the next meeting on September 18th.
And Mr. Du Bois, this is just, I think, a question for a point of clarity, because I've heard from some residents, even as recent as today, that this is R1, R2 zoning. It impacts R1, R2 zoning in the entire city, not just the DeVos area, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
With and that's, because I actually went to the actual planning board meeting, and one of the planning board members brought up, and that's why I'm making the suggestion that I'm making, because if you look at the protected areas that's being protected from this space, it doesn't deal with like the heavier portion of the inner city, and they're already struggling already just to see light of day. So that's why I asked the question, because if you look at, we all have the actual map. So look at the map, and if the areas that we're allowing this movement to take place, you're putting these students in places that are desolate and that are already kind of struggling financially and struggling, as like quality of life. So that's why it's important, and it may not be important to some because may not live in the non-protected area, but I do. So that's why I'm asking these questions as well, because there are a lot of people such as myself that are wondering with this map, with the actual map that shows it. It shows like the Highland Avenue area, it shows the Midtown area, it shows the areas that have all of the crime and a lot of the, the underserved spaces, marginalized spaces. So my thing is that
Your worry is that those students will be driven into those neighborhoods?
I mean, it seems like, I just don't want to sponsor gentrification.
Well, if you attended the whole hearing, you then heard from Chris Sheffield, who is an administrator for NU. Were you there for that portion of this?
Well, until NU shows a memorandum of understanding with us to showing exactly what that looks like and what the relationship even looks like between us, then it doesn't matter.
What I'm referring to is Chris Sheffield's testimony at the planning board's hearing. And I'll jog your memory. What he said was that NU has capacity to bring students that might be displaced out of R1 and R2 districts back onto campus. He also expressed that they could use apartment buildings on Hyde Park, on the north end of Hyde Park. And he had some other ideas about helping students find housing in the other districts. So he had three responses to the concern you just raised.
Okay, well, we'll find all of that out during the public hearing.
Additionally, too, I think just a few homes close to the campus that they have incorporated as part of the campus too, correct?
That's my understanding,
Yeah.
that they have purchase or gain control of some houses that may actually be in Niagara.
Okay, any opposition? Okay, let's call the roll, please.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Council Chairperson Carey?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, motion, resolution's carried. Okay,
Good for the community.
Community?
I know, don't push it, I know. I know, I was just catching up on my notes, it's okay. All right. Mr. Du Bois gave me a bunch of notes to keep here, so I just kind of keep a track of them all, that's all. I know, okay. All right, that brings us to our portion of the good of the community. And the good of the community, I will remind everybody that you have 5 minutes to speak. You will speak to the entire group. Any personal attacks by anybody I will order you to sit down. Any violations of the code of conduct, you'll be ordered to sit down. If you continue to violate the code of conduct, you're going to be ordered out of here. Okay, with that, Liz, please call the first speaker.
Yes, sir. Ms. Tamika Houston?
As I was saying earlier, I'm here in regards to a third Airbnb being attempted to put on my block, which is 12th Street between Niagara Street and Ferry Avenue. Now, there are already two there, and there's already issue with parking. There's already issue with noise. I've been talking to some of my neighbors as I went around to find out how they felt about the situation, And they're even running into situations where tourists are ingratiating themselves on adjacent properties around 440 and 442. They're trying to dictate where residents and residence visitors can park. They're being loud, allowing their children to run around late at night. And from what I heard, because of the properties, the Airbnbs that are already there, they've had to have rat traps set because the property isn't being kept up. We just don't want another Airbnb on our block. There's 2. That's bad enough, and we don't need any more. And I feel like if there aren't any more put on there, and this one that's operating, from what I understand, outside of the guidelines, there wouldn't be any more issues going on with us. And the thing about it, and I only have 5 minutes. I didn't know that I had 5 minutes. I thought I had more. But anyway, I'm speaking for people that have been on that street for many years, now, even decades. And I have signatures, I have a petition with signatures of several people, and the people that I'm speaking for are mostly homeowners and a few longtime renters. For example, 416, the Harrises, over 20 years. 419, another set of Harrisons, 10 years. 420, Johnson Simmons, 50 years plus. Again, these people have been here for a long time. This neighborhood has pretty much sustained its condition and as far as its safety goes up until now. Going forward, 422, 424, Crumpton Scotts have been there 40 years, since the 70s. 428, Houston family, been there for 40 years. That's my family. 431, the Gibsons, 50 years, since the early 70s. 438, the Lewis household, over 10 years. 444, the Garbedians, over 30 years, maybe more. And lastly on my list that I have is 446, the Henwoods, over 40 years. And that's not all the people or all the renters or all the long-term renters, but that's what I can remember in talking people and what they told me. Some of these people have been there so long, they got second, third generation families being raised there. And this is just getting out of hand. We're just tired of it. And we feel, since we've been here this long, that people who aren't even from this country or aren't even from this state or aren't even from this city can just come in here with arrogance and set up shop in the middle of a residential area without talking to people, without finding out if it's okay to set up a business in the middle of a residential area. It's ridiculous. So we want it to stop. And so, how many minutes I got? 2? Oh, okay. So basically, and I hope I'm not repeating myself, but if I am, maybe it bears repeating. So people have told me that some of the people, matter of fact, I myself, last weekend, witnessed these Airbnb tourists ingratiating themselves on adjoining properties. They set up a folding table and chairs to play cards outside of the property. And one of my neighbors told me that one of the tourists went inside her yard, which is fenced in, and sat on her property. And they had an attitude when she told them to leave. This is ridiculous. And they play their music too loud. Matter of fact, one weekend there was 2 RVs, 2 large RVs, and 5 cars associated with just those 2 Airbnbs. Again, 440 and 442, and I think I mentioned that they're not being kept up because of the rat traps. So it's ridiculous. We don't want another one. 442 is the third one that they're trying to set up. And from what I understand, because I went to the code enforcement meeting, that they are not following proper guidelines. We live on one side, and a gentleman lives on the other side of us with his family, and we have received no notification that it was okay, that we would get, that they got any okay to set up the Airbnb. We have nothing in the mail, and they're operating illegally or outside the guidelines. Something should be done about that. They figure just because there's 2 there that they can go ahead and put up a third, and never mind the rest of us that have been there for decades. That's not okay. It's not. So I got 45 seconds, so I'll just take those 45 seconds, if I can, to give you some petitions I have signed.
Steffen.
Good evening, council members. My name is Jared Steffen, and I am a proud resident of Niagara Falls and the e-bike coordinator for the Niagara Falls branch of the Western New York e-bike library, hosted by Create a Healthier Niagara Falls Collaborative and supported by Shared Mobility, Inc. I'm here tonight with fellow members of our e-bike community to speak on a matter that affects all of us, our city's streets. We come before you to urge the council to invest the time to research and invest the money to build city streets that promote traffic safety and shared mobility. The amount and volume of bike, e-bike, motorized scooter traffic is growing. So is the need for shared mobility infrastructure. We are here because we believe in a Niagara Falls where everyone, whether they are walking, wheeling, biking, or driving, can move safely and confidently through our neighborhoods. The e-bike program I coordinate has given many residents the freedom to be more active and independent. But without the necessary shared mobility infrastructure, we are putting these folks and all commuters in harm's way. We've seen too many close calls, too many preventable accidents, and sadly, too many lives lost. This is not just a matter of convenience, it's a matter of life and death. We are asking the council to prioritize the development of protected bike lanes, better crosswalks, and traffic calming measures that promote safe, shared use of our streets for all commuters. This is not just about accommodating cyclists, this is about creating a city that works for everyone. In 2019, the City Council approved a resolution to adopt a bike master plan. Recently, our group rode one of the proposed routes on this path, in this plan, the Niagara Falls Cycle Circuit. This circuit was designed to connect key areas of Niagara Falls with dedicated and protected bike lanes to make it safer for cyclists to navigate the city. One proposed protected bike route, this proposed protected bike route goes along Hyde Park Boulevard, Niagara Street, Portage Ave, Lockport Street, and Niagara Avenue. Unfortunately, none of the elements of the 2019 Bike Master Plan have been implemented, and many of the areas where recent tragic events have occurred are exactly where this added infrastructure was proposed. We need the council and other city officials to come together, review this plan, make revisions for current conditions and needs, and bring shared mobility infrastructure to more neighborhoods in Niagara Falls. Another critical aspect of safety is the issue of bike thefts. When someone's personal mode of transportation is stolen, it disrupts lives, creates financial strain, and erodes the sense of security that everyone in our community deserves. We should all live in a community where our transportation can be respected and kept safe. Addressing bike thefts through better infrastructure and secure parking options is an essential part of creating a safer Niagara Falls for all. Tonight, you'll hear from others in our group. They will share their own experiences, perspectives, and hopes for a safer Niagara Falls. Each of us brings a unique voice, but we are united in one message. We need safer streets, and we need them now. I thank you for your time and consideration, and I ask that you listen to the stories, concerns, and solutions that my friends will present. Together, we can build a Niagara Falls that allows all people to have safe, accessible, affordable, and equitable transportation options. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mike Robinson.
Good evening, council members. My name is Mike Robinson. I'm a resident of Niagara Falls, originally from Buffalo. I'm in the bike program that Jared just spoke about. I have a problem when I go shopping. There are no bike racks for us to chain the bikes up too. So we have to chain them up to stop signs, wait signs. And I was talking to people in the neighborhood in regards to public places that we go, like the 7-Elevens, and I noticed that just about every establishment has a parking lot. Now, if you can make arrangements for cars to have a place to park, it would be nice to set up a bike rack in each one of these parking lots. You know, we like to get around and shop, you know, but unfortunately, it's in a lot of people's way. Now, just like out front, there's 3 of us got our bikes chained up to a post out there, which really is kind of blocking the sidewalk. So not only would bike racks be convenient, because I noticed that on the corner, there is a bike rack set up where you can rent a bike. If you can make arrangements to put a rack up there to rent one, why not for people that automatically have one? You know, it would be a big help. And plus, I think congestion would be cut down, you know, people riding around out of the way trying to find places to park when it's really right there. So if you could do something about it, I'm sure I speak for the rest of the members, we'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Mark Smith.
Members of the City Council, administrative staff, and other people who keep the city running, thank you and hello. I'm Mark Smith, 479 22nd Street, Niagara Falls, New York. I am a second-year participant in the e-bike library program, and I'm here to talk briefly about the e-bike program for city residents and about bike and traffic safety in general. Please note per the last speaker that this is actually primary transportation for some people. Per the bike loop mentioned earlier, primarily a center city route, it's a good idea. Please move forward on it. The following suggestions will help get bike infrastructure right from the beginning before anything is built, painted, or paved. First off, the perennial good road surface issue is particularly important. With bike tires, fairly thin bike tires, and riders if thrown being protected only by a helmet, it's best to avoid falls before they occur with a safe, smooth road surface. Secondly, sewer gratings. I know this is the responsibility of the water board, but you should be aware of this potential liability. Sewer grading slots wider than bike tires if they're placed in the direction of bike or road travel. Catch a bike tire. The bike suddenly stops, the rider is thrown forward, boom, lawsuit. Let's fix that. Please see to it that sewer gratings are installed perpendicular to the direction of travel rather than parallel to it so that they don't catch bike tires. This was noted around Oakwood Cemetery on our last ride and along Niagara Street, at least from 24th Street past Blaniva Bond Elementary to at least to Gold Creek Park. Thirdly, the new bike paths along Ferry and Walnut Avenue are great. They're wide, they're smooth, they are well marked. The city needs more of these dedicated bike lanes, especially on roads wide enough to handle them, like Hyde Park Boulevard. There's always a but though, 3B, the bump outs on Ferry and Walnut. Not so great. Wheelchair Ease of use ramps exist only on the inside of the bump outs. If a biker, due to circumstances, is forced to the curb and unable to stop in time before they hit the curb on this bump out, hit the curb, wreck the tire, fly over the handlebars, again, another disaster we want to avoid. I know there's state roads, but ramps should exist on both sides of the bump out as an escape route. Please see what you can do. Now, bike routes encourage use. Businesses may pop up to service bike riders. Parks along the route have restrooms and are a great place to have a drink and grab a rest. But without sturdy bike locking stands or racks to secure these bikes, as mentioned earlier, bikes will get stolen. Please see what you can do. That's it. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Will. Is your name Wilson? William.
William Catland.
What is your last name, sir?
Catland. 505 24th Street, Niagara Falls. I wanted to speak about the bike riding trails also. And it's a great idea, but there's also another problem with them. I've noticed when I've been riding on them, cars will tend to drive into those lanes too. The other gentleman was talking about his problem where the bump outs were. That was caused that he had the accident there because a car was in the bike lane. But the bike lines, like I say, they're great. They give us safer space. If we can get the cars to stay out of them and having a place to tie the bikes up when we stop somewhere, especially around the city, being it's a tourist area and there's so much to see and so many places to go, there's really no place to tie them up. I'm told I'm not allowed to tie it to a street post, but a lot of places there's nothing else to tie it to, and a lot of bikes have been being stolen, and we could use bike racks too. And that's pretty much all I have to say, but I hope you could take that into consideration.
Our next speaker is Alana Stefan.
I'm short. Good evening, everybody. I'm Alana Stefan. I live on 2443 Willow Avenue between 24th and 27th Street. Earlier there was a motion to create two new stop signs by the Water Board in LaSalle. Was it by 95th Street, if I'm not mistaken, if my ears are right? I didn't write it down. And I wrote down a note saying extra stop signs won't help if no one stops at them. And this is what I'm here to discuss. So in conjunction with my friends and on the bike paths and making a safer community, for not just for bikes, but also walking pedestrians. Every morning I walk my dog. I live right by Hyde Park, so sometimes I walk her through Hyde Park, sometimes I walk her through my neighborhood, sometimes I cross the street at Hyde Park Elementary School, which is between Michigan and Linwood Avenue, and there's a hawk signal. Now, if you don't know what that hawk is, it's called High Intensity Activated Crosswalk. I did not make that up, I had to Google it. And it's activated, it doesn't do anything, and it's in front of an elementary school. You press the button, you wait, the solid red lights come on, and you can cross Hyde Park Boulevard safely. However, multiple times, people have just blown right through that red light, the double red light in front of the elementary school. There's nobody there to stop them. There's no consequences for these people. It's in front of an elementary school. Nobody's stopping, and Hyde Park Boulevard is a very busy street. I get it. People are mad that they have to stop at a stoplight. Cool. You have to stop for pedestrians in front of an elementary school. Nobody is stopping, and there is nobody there to stop these people from committing these. It's a crime to blow that red light in front of an elementary school, especially. I'm a participating pedestrian. I wait. I don't jump out in front of the stoplights. I wait till this red light is red. I wait for the crosswalk signal to clear. I wait to make sure that the light is red, the crosswalk is clear, so I know I am safe to cross. And there is no one, I can count on my both hands how many close calls I have had where people just blowing red lights. Not just red lights too. I sometimes just walk in my neighborhood. So I'll go down 24th, down 22nd, in neighborhoods. People don't stop at stop signs. There's no enforcement at all in my neighborhood. I've seen police cruisers at Sal Magley Stadium. I've crossed the street in front of Sammy's, which is, I wrote down here, what is that? Thank you, Pierce, thank you. By Pierce Avenue, there's a stoplight there. I hit the button, I wait. Blowing through red lights again. I'm just trying to walk my dog in the morning. So not only are we not having safety for our cyclists, but walking pedestrians as well. If nobody is following these rules of the road, then how are we expected to even be safe walking around in our community? I'm not lying. If you live in my neighborhood, you'll see me, especially when the sun doesn't come up now. I wear a high-vis vest, I wear a headlamp, I put a high-vis vest on my dog. Her leash and her collar are reflective, and people still are surprised when they don't stop, when they see me at a stop sign and I'm trying to cross the road. I'm trying to cross Pierce and 24th. There's no high traffic, and oh my gosh, there's somebody there. Yeah, there is. I'm walking my dog. Can you please pay attention? You're in a neighborhood, not on the highway. There's nobody, and this is, okay, I have $1.20 left. Like I said, I've seen police cars in the parking lot at Sal Magley and crossing at Pierce, right in front of Sammy's, with the light. I have the right of way. People are blowing these lights, nothing is getting done. And I'm not asking to spend more money to put more police on the road. I'm asking for the rules to be enforced. Because if the rules are enforced, more people are going to think twice before blowing a red light and stop signs and everything else. Enforce them. I've seen them. I've seen cops in front of Sammy's not doing anything. Well, I don't know what they're doing. I'm not in their car. But I've seen people blow red lights and nothing gets done. And so I'm here to complain about that and to please, I'm begging you guys to enforce the rules. Please put it on our police officers to enforce the traffic laws. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Good to be before you. Vincent Cawley, born and raised here. I'm just here to speak on our parks situation, and by that mean, I don't know if anyone saw in the Gazette the other day, there's some disagreements about what's going on with the funding for Beach Avenue Park. That's on the north end. I've been in some of those architectural meetings, and I know it's come before the council and councils past to get the architectural drawings done and to get them and to find the money to build it. So my question is, and I just want to see if somebody can make it make sense. We have $4.5 million for a dog pound, but we don't have $4 million for a park for the youth, for the kids, for the elderly, for the handicapped, for the special needs. You know, as somebody who has a special needs brother, actually, and for someone who was in those meetings and seen the information and the time and it took to go through that and the hard work of people who've been lobbying the city to sort of get this into a point where there was 1,100 signatures ready to go and get the support, and we still come up empty on our Beach Avenue Park for the kids, but yet we $4.5 million for a dog pound. Somebody make that make sense. And they're like, oh, Vincent, that's COVID money as opposed to this money. Okay. I was in another city in the United States. And they said, Vincent, I took a tour of the building. It was a historical building. I'm like, man, I just had to ask, how do you pay for this? And he said, oh, yeah, this is by federal money. And I'm like, man, this is a good use of federal money. I didn't have to pay for it, but I was able to walk in there. I learned something. I got some history of the city. I got some artifacts, free stuff, all that. Now, what am I going to get for a $4.5 million dog pound? Because everybody realizes that COVID money, also known as the American Rescue Plan money, is federal money. And what are we getting for that? So I would rather see, and then, again, I am not getting a penny. I don't want a penny. I'm not asking for a penny from Paws in the Falls or the alternative connection. I see a problem, I think solutions, not let's waste money on things that we don't need to. So I don't want a penny, not asking for a penny, haven't received a penny, don't want to receive a penny. It's about solving problems. And $4.5 million for a dog pound, that's a dog pound to nowhere, like the train to nowhere, to me, just unacceptable, and I'm still looking for a conclusion to that. And also, have we received any drawings, any schematics? I do SolidWorks. Do we got a screenshot of what this thing is going to be? What are we spending $4.5 million for? Maybe you guys were in a meeting. Maybe you guys got some secret meetings, a special meeting where you got some architectural drawings. Maybe you have them. Maybe you do. I haven't seen them, and maybe I lose track of everything. Things going on. Maybe I missed that Gazette article. Maybe I missed the Reporter article or the Express article. Maybe I missed it. Thank you. So but then, okay, so we can pay for a $4.5 million dog pound. We can't pay for a $4 million Beach Avenue Park for the youth, for the kids, and for the elderly, and for the disabled, but we can pay for a $165 million Centennial Park? You add on top of that, you add the interest, you're up to about $200 million. You add on inflation, who knows, it's $200 million plus. You combine that over 20-year loan, make it a 30-year loan. That's still $6.5–7 million a year that we got to pay back for 30 years. Your kids, grandkids still going to be paying for that, and maybe the great-grandkids. But we can't get a beach park for our youth, our kids, our elderly, and our handicapped. Thank you.
Speaker is Tanya Barone.
Good evening. I'm here to talk about the FOIL request that I had received from the city clerk's office in regards to the dog sheltering contract that we currently have with the Pitchick. This isn't a personal issue. This is a contractual issue between the city and a vendor. That's your opinion. This is for the good of the community. This is my tax dollars and everybody in this room's tax dollars paying for things.
That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to
FOIL
know why
requests
our
are not.
city tax money is paying for
FOIL requests are
for vet bills.
That is not for the good of the community.
It is for, it's
I'm not
my
gonna argue
tax
with you.
money
Have a seat.
that is paying for vet bills for dogs that are in her shelter for weeks that contract parvo and fight with each other and create injury with each other, and we've paid thousands of dollars.
I'm not
in
going to
vet
argue
bills.
with you.
That's not
FOIL
your contract.
request is not for the good of the community.
This is for the good of the taxpayers, which
I'm not-
is the community.
Officer, would you remove her, please?
I don't think.
This is a disgrace. That is why we have officers here, because we are not allowed to talk.
You're allowed to talk as long as it's not.
I'm not personally attacking anyone. I am talking about records that I have received from the city clerk. I am not talking about a personal attack.
Can we pause? Can we pause?
Wait. Can we understand what's happening?
It's a FOIL request.
Okay, so is that secret?
It's a FOIL request. It's a personal issue.
No, that's public information.
Wait. Help me understand. If she had her, if she.
You want to take a 5-minute recess? We'll go up to the legal
No,
office.
there's
and
no
we'll
need to
talk
take
about
it.
Hold on. If she,
Make a motion for a recess, and we'll talk about it in legal.
We have no.
she still needs to be able to. If she had a FOIL request, hold on. Just let me understand. Just wait. Excuse me. If there is a request for information,
Tom,
and she wants
would you-
to share it,
Would
like,
you
what's the
weigh in
problem?
on this
Help me understand.
FOIL request?
I mean, no,
as a
this is
personal
a
issue?
city, hold on, here's the thing, this is a city council meeting,
Help me
and
understand.
You're absolutely
we're
right.
hold on, we're voted in.
You're right.
We're voted
What does
in
that
by.
say, Dante?
It
What does
doesn't
that
matter.
say?
It doesn't
no,
matter.
that does matter. That is voted in
If
by
you're
the
not gonna
city
listen to the
council.
people that vote you in, then you shouldn't be up
That
here.
is
Let's
it.
be
That
honest.
is it right there, Dante.
They're
What
asking. They're
What
asking.
does that say?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. That's not fair. And you're,
Second.
Motion for me recess.
Okay.
Motion
Can I have a
for
second?
recess.
Second for recess. Second for the recess.
I need to understand.
Can I have a second for the request?
Second.
Recess?
I need to understand.
Okay.
Just,
Second for recess. Okay.
come on, I need to hear. I need to understand.
Okay.
I need to understand.
5-minute recess. Meet up in legal office.
not cool.
No, it is, 'cause I Okay. Try this again. My battery's going dead.
Your battery's here, you can take mine.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll make it quick. Make it quick. This meeting is back in order. Due to a lack of consensus, this meeting's adjourned.